Hi everyone. I'm going to share a link on the chat. If you can share us, join us all in room 1, and the password is 2020. And if you could join us there in room 1, we've got quite a few people on there, 60 people taking part, and we'll see you in this room soon as well. Thank you. If you haven't seen, you can join us in the room 1 in the forum right now as we're launching. The link is in the chat and the password is 2020. Hi, I see we've got people joining. Thank you. We'll wait a few minutes to get all of our participants in. We'll start with some introductions and be able to take away the workshop. Hi everyone, have we got most of us in? Who are we missing? Great, welcome everyone. I think what we can do is start introducing ourselves and go around the panelists. So then we'll get into the conversation. So my name's Adrian. Faisal just joined. My name's Adrian from Nairobi Design Week. I'm an industrial designer and a creative director by trade, and I'm really looking forward to learning about your projects.
Hi guys, my name is Nekasa. I am the room host for this session. I work with AfriLabs, which is a Pan-African network of hubs. We currently have a membership of 240 spread across 47 African countries, and I'm happy to be here. Please feel free to unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tando Kwinji. I'm from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. I work with an organization called Youth for Innovation Trust. We are a collective of active global citizens who are pushing youth development through social innovation. I myself am a digital specialist, a gender champion, and a youth activist. Nice to meet you all, and I'm glad to be here today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charmaine Chitate from Zimbabwe. I am a comms and more like an interdisciplinary creator, specializing mostly in VR content production and photography as well. I look forward to hearing everyone else's presentation and your feedback.
So hi everyone, my name is Walid. I'm CEO and founder of Digital Mania, a video game studio based in Tunisia, in Malta, and in France. We've been doing many games now for the last 10 years. And I'm here today to share with you our latest creation, which is Warshmallows. Actually, the background behind me is one of the levels that we created for that game. And yeah, we will go through all the process of development and all the creative aspect, but also not only creative and tech, but also marketing, finance, so sharing some thoughts and perhaps tips for people who are interested by that.
Hi, for anyone who just joined, we're doing a quick round of introductions as we wait to start the session. So feel free to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Faisal from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a content producer and publisher of books with augmented reality, and excited to be here.
Lawrence, Mercy, and we're from Bear Pit, Zambia.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Okay, guys, I hope you can hear me. Do I need to introduce myself again? No? Yes, no?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. So I'm Samantha. I'm the community manager for African Crossroads. And really, I've worked with everyone who's on the panel today who's going to be teaching us more skills. So maybe I could already walk through the program and introduce our first speaker. So we have a panel of 5 people, 5 diverse people. Our first speaker, her name is Shemaine. She's based here in Zimbabwe, and she does a lot of storytelling, documentation, VR, and she's really here to tell us more about those skills. And the second speaker, her name is Tando Ngwinji. She is also based here in Zimbabwe, and she works for a civil society organization focusing on transparency and accountability, and she does a lot of documentation. So Tando will be here to speak to us about videography and to teach us a bit more skills about the work that she's already doing. Then following Tando is Faisal, and I think some of you will remember Faisal from our October gathering, where he really shared more about his recent book on augmented reality called Elephants Wear Ivory. So Faisal today is just really going to prep us on what steps do we take, what kind of preparation is required for you to be able to venture into wildlife photography and then get the best shots for augmented reality. And then following Faisal is Walid. Walid is based in Tunisia, so he's also celebrating a recent game. It's called Washmallows. If you could also share the link, Walid, I'm sure he's really going to speak more about it, but he's just going to really get into the small steps, small skills about how do you build up a game, which applications can you use for like setting up a simple game. And she's also really going to redirect and focus funding priorities or funding places for future gamers or future game thinkers. Then finally, we're going to have also from Seth. They're also celebrating a new continental application. This application is called Plus. So Seth is part of WooLab. I think you can also remember them from our previous African Crossroads edition. And we're here to really celebrate this application, and he will really tell us more about the journey, what led them to the Plus application, and what other skills or what other priorities you can do as a future gamer or as a future tech junkie who's really interested in setting up an application platform. So I'd like to really hand over this time to Shemaine. Shemaine, would you really want to take the stage and teach us more about their skills on VR and storytelling?
All righty, thank you, Sam, for the introductions. I'll just try to share my screen just now. Okay, so my name is Shamaine Chitate. I am a multidisciplinary creative and comms consultant. It means that I take on photography, videography, VR content production, written stories, narrative, and also journalistic articles as well. A lot of people think maybe the question that they usually pose to me is if I'm a Jill of all trades, but for me, it's not necessarily being a Jill of all trades, but it has been a career journey. I started off as a child performer in the Children's Performing Arts Workshop and realized as I grew up that I didn't really want to be a performer. I wanted to work behind the scenes. And I started working for the African Broadcast Network, where I started to learn skills in television production and also negotiating broadcasting rights. That was straight out of high school. And I then started, I got a job as a as a graphic design intern up until I worked with the advertising agency and became a graphic designer. But then in doing the graphic design work, I realized that a lot of the images that we worked with were not Zimbabwean enough. So I then became interested in photography, and I started working, doing a bit of photography here and there. And at the time I was also attached to the Zimbabwe International Film Festival Trust, upskilling there, and also doing a couple of short films with them. So my career has been a progression of moving from being just a graphic designer into becoming a motion graphic designer, into becoming a videographer, cinematographer. And now I find that not only do I just want to tell the story, I want to be able to help people experience the story, which is how I came across virtual reality and, in a smaller sense, augmented reality. So in my journey, I first got engaged with virtual reality when I came across the Swiss Hotel Management School's virtual tour, and this was in 2015. And I was impressed, and I really wanted to see how they did that. And it kind of led to my volunteering for initiatives of change, Co-Palace in Switzerland, which is where the hotel school is based. And through the work that I did with initiatives of change, I began to learn a bit more about VR, and also practicing the comms and documentation processes that I've always done back here on the continent. So in 2018, following the coup that we had, I got, oh, sorry, not the coup, it's the wrong word. I was short, part of my exhibition with the National Art Gallery of Zimbabwe went to the Joburg Art Fair, where I was then voted in the top 20 contemporary African artists who have the potential to shape and influence the future creative work on the continent. And that also kind of got me going into what more can I do beyond just documenting stories the way that I do, photographing sports for news agencies, writing human impact stories. How can I expand my network and also my portfolio further? And that's when I wrote a proposal for Digital Lab Africa, which was called I Am a Woman Defined, stories about her being Zimbabwe, telling stories about Zimbabwe. There were so many assumptions about, the Zimbabwean, having worked with different women's organizations and helping them document their works, from Women in Politics Support Unit to the Women's Coalition of Zimbabwe to Gender Media Connect, in trying to help them document what they did. I realized that, I don't know that many women, and I'm a woman photographer, I'm a woman documentation consultant. How can I make the experiences of women more enviable or more understandable as well? So I then wrote I Am a Woman Defined, where I wanted to start off with the popular women, the women that everyone knew, which was Charwe Nehanda and Nyamika. And it was bent on using my film experience to dramatize, Charwe's story and tell the story in binaural sound. So even my pitch video, we kind of incorporated binaural sound. The experience in putting this together was a little difficult because there are no VR production schools in Zimbabwe. So everything is literally, I figure something out, I tell someone else figures something out, they tell me, and I also, work on it. So now in trying to put together profiles for these women, I realized there isn't that much content in our own history where I can draw some of the facts and manipulate the facts to dramatize it. And as a result, the project did not win that category, in that category for that year, but it's a project that then spurred on my ideation into developing Whispering Silence, which was funded by Africalia. So in developing I Am a Woman Defined, I realized that I didn't really understand our culture. And I didn't understand Zimbabwean history as much as everybody else did. And I wanted to go back to basics, to where the stories are. A lot of our stories, because they're not documented, they are there in what we call Ngano, which are folk tales. So I went around as part of the Africalia Creativities Life grant, which was a relief grant for the COVID-19, and went to ask people different things to say, we're being told that we need to stay safe, we need to observe a particular distance. Are these things, or is this not advice that we had within our culture before? Is it something new? Why is it that as people today, we're being told we should not sneeze in front of people, we should not hug, we should not do this? Are these things that so foreign that we don't understand them? And in talking to these different men and women, they then brought up stories where all of these concepts were shared through folk tales, and then they were also speaking to the future by sharing what was of interest to them. So you'll find that in creating Whispering Silence, I started off with my usual form, which was photography. And the portrait went into a written story, the life story of the person. And that person would then tell me ngano, which is a folk tale. And then they would then explain how that ngano then relates to the present environment. And all of these were linked outside of the ngano and its relation to the present environment. I would then record a 360 video, because I felt that we find it so difficult to identify with each other, because we don't understand where the experiences of the next person. So in understanding the advice that can come from someone in Epworth, that advice can also apply to someone in Highfields or someone in the Avenues or someone in Emakhandeni. The advice is the same, and we can understand. We shouldn't then, discriminate against it, because we are in the same environment. It may be different, but we have shared experiences. And I felt that the 360 video would help create those shared experiences. And then I linked all of these elements with an AR application where you could scan one of the portraits, and the portrait would lead either to the ngano or to the 360 video. And this resulted in an online exhibition on the website. So in recording this, there were a lot of things that were a bit difficult. We had a double lockdown during the time that I was developing the project. So I just went into production mode, where we just went and we recorded stories, everything. Social distancing was very difficult in some of the areas, but it was easier to show in the 360 videos because number one, when you're going to a place like Epworth, the minute that you drive in, everybody comes to you. So this was kind of like the setup that I had, where we did the video interview, and then straight after that, we would then do the 360 recordings. And it was just more a question, show me what you like doing every day. And Patricia in the bottom left corner, she creates 3/4 stones for building, for construction. And she was like, oh, I need to show you my business, but I don't have the right tool. So I made a makeshift this and that. So for us to be able to understand how she makes a living and how that has been affected through COVID, I think that was better portrayed with the 360 video. In terms of post-production, the Africalia grant allowed me, because I'm self-taught in terms of virtual reality and augmented reality, having the grant helped me find a workflow that worked for me. But the best workflow was, you have the anxiety, you have the stress, you have the depression, and obviously if you repeat it enough times, you'll get a solution. And if you didn't have those, that then you wouldn't remember what you did. I think my desktop had enough heart attacks where it just switched off, and then I would have to start all over again, whether it's the edit or whether it's the export. There were times where I would literally go and just take a 5-minute nap and my machine would crash, but then if I look at it the whole time for the whole 2 hours that it's rendering, it would work. So those are some of the challenges that I came across. I struggled a lot with, between Adobe and Unity in trying to link things over, particularly the 360 video and Unity itself. I can only code when I'm depressed, which is really unfortunate. But those are the best times that I can code, and it was a bit rare for me to be able to to get depressed and cope, because a lot of the stories that these women were telling me and the men were very exciting. And as part of my project, the Africalia grant catered for my accommodation and day-to-day living expenses. And Adobe came in, and first in August, they gave me access to the software, the entire suite, for free. And then they decided to extend it to next year, February. So currently, right now, my access to the Adobe Creative Suite is sponsored by Adobe, so that I can continue, figuring out how I want to work with VR and AR as well, and also have their, support whenever I have a problem with a particular file and all of that. In terms of funding for my VR work and any other work that I do, there's been a drought. This is an image that I took last year for CAFWAT. There's been a drought in terms of funding, especially for people my age, and also considering that VR, AR on in Zim so far, it's comes across as very exploratory, which it is, but there hasn't been anything where, you have a clear understanding that the other person is reading the proposal, understands the kind of work that needs to be put into it. And also a lot of the funding that's been there has been directed towards collaborations. At times, in trying to figure it out, you're not always able to work with someone because you're also trying to figure it out, and someone else is also trying to figure it out. You only end up confusing each other. So I make my money off documentation consultancies for different organizations, whether it's photo, video, or comms. I do virtual tours. I have a partnership with a South African agency where I cater for their Zim clients. I also do project management. I'm a member of the Project Management Institute Zimbabwe chapter. And from Africalia, I received a grant of 1,500 euros, which catered for 3 months. I'm not so sure how I'm doing on time. And then my wish list is, I guess, to somehow find a way where we have access to funding or income streams that allow us to explore what we can do with VR. I use VR to explore culture. Zimbabwean culture is slowly dying away. We've got new cultures that we're breeding, but we're losing the old cultures. And we need to find some way of preserving our old cultures, whether it's language, whether it's the artifacts, different aspects of our culture. And even when I recorded the Nganos with the people that I interviewed, I found that there was a lot of phrasing that I didn't understand, though we're speaking the same language, but we had to then ask people within their age range what it meant, because people within our own age range did not have an understanding of what they were saying. So my wish list in terms of access to funding would probably be grants that cater for my age group. I'm like 37, so I'm quite aged. Exploratory grants that help us figure out the kind of art that we want to explore, especially considering that there are always new mediums that we need to work with. Equipment, gear, VR gear is expensive. And it takes me about 6 to 7 months to purchase new gear in between jobs, and upskilling and residencies. I think the newer generation of creatives has the opportunity to learn VR and AR at university. Some of us don't have that same opportunity, but it'll be great to have those residencies where we can just knock our heads together and just figure things out. And then this is the last slide for my presentation. This is basically my life. My heart wants what it wants. We want to create more VR content. We want to create more AR content, but the cost of doing so just has my brain saying, okay, you need to push this idea out and just wait until there is a conducive environment for it. But then it also means that we're left behind and we don't get to connect with our peers across the continent as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Charmaine, for this great presentation. Just listening to your story on storytelling and how you've really managed to turn around local stories, local lessons, and be able to merge them with new technology is really encouraging. So for people that would want to understand more about Charmaine's work, she has a website, Charmaine, if you could share the link. And you can also reach out to me and I can connect you to her and you can really engage on common interesting skills or network sharing. Next, I would really want to invite Tando. Tando, we're quite short on time, so if you could also be precise with the next segment that we're getting into with your presentation. Tando is a documenting and filmmaking specialist, and you'll hear more from her. Tando,
Right.
over to you.
Thank you, Sam. Charmaine, may I share my screen? Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am glad to be here today. As I said, my name is Tando Gwinji. I'm a digital media specialist and an activist working with Youth for Innovation Trust here in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. So I'm going to be talking to you today about film and documentation, which is basically just recording stuff on camera, most of it that Charmaine has already mentioned. Why are we doing that? Because the way that we tell our story to ourselves really matters. So I'm not going to go much into the technical details or to waste much of our time, but I'm going to briefly mention why it's important for us to actually take filming and documentation seriously, because in all the work that we are doing in all different aspects of creativity, it actually matters that we record it properly. And filming and documentation is actually one of the ways. So film is a combination of technology, of business, of entertainment, and of aesthetics. And each of these four things are important and they play an important role in the present day world. As Charmaine had already mentioned, things around VR, virtual reality, that's technology. And film is also there. It's also business, as we know, the Hollywoods and the Nollywoods of this world. It's entertainment, and it reaches out to people in the most fast and actually very effective way for them to actually understand what you're actually talking about. So any film has a villain who manifests into the contemporary society as evils. It could be the village moneylender, the land hawks, etc., or even the modern day terrorists. But every other story has a villain. And in the stories having villain, it's also important that we also tell the stories of heroes as well, that we also tell our narrative as it is. And like most forms of art and media, film does reflect those internal human search for truth, which is a process where we can discuss it as both a cause and effect of why we are here, why we are being very conscious about the existing social life and the communication gap that's there within people. So film comes in to actually try and cover that gap that might be within people. So I'm going to reflect on the Pan-African Dream, which is why we are gathering as the African Crossroads this year. This is our theme, the Pan-African Dream. So we have the dream, but how do we tell that dream? How do we make our dream known? And how do we begin to pursue that dream? So in beginning to pursue that dream, we can either narrate or we can also dramatize. And in narrating, we can have interviews, we can have dialogues, we can have reports. And in dramatizing, we can then have theater plays, we have reality shows, we have music videos, short films, spoken word, etc. But what's important is how we come together as different partners and stakeholders and gather the different equipment and resources that we have in order to channel it to the story that we want to tell through film. And in so doing, this has to be a story that appeals to all of us. So if a story appeals to all of us, it's easier for us to come together, to work together, and to actually tell that particular story. So I've got a quick question. Anyone in the room who has a story that they might want to tell about Africa? Anyone? Feel free to unmute yourself and shout.
It's successes.
Sorry, come again.
The things that Africa has done right, it's successes.
Oh yes, the successes. What has Africa done right? Let's have that as something that we want to bring out in a video, or it could be through a theater play, or it could be through a reality TV show, or it could be a music video, etc. So what has Africa done right? So we are going to share, I'm going to share a few tips on how we can then make that topic, what Africa has done right, into a film, a short something that can actually reflect and live for generations to come, to actually see that this is what we actually did right. Here in the southern parts of Africa, there is a film called Chaka Zulu. It's a documentary, and every other generation has actually watched this documentary for them to know what happened in South Africa leading into Zimbabwe in those previous years. So it's a history of ours that we know, a history of ours that we actually have seen through film, and we are going to leave that film for generations to come. I remember the first time that I saw that film, it was through the VCR tapes. That was the first time I saw that film, and it has developed. It went on to be in DVDs, and I'm sure right now it's there online. So film stays as much as the different mediums of accessing film change. So we could access film through cinemas, we could access film through a lot of different other mediums, but the story remains, and it's going to be passed on from generation to generation. So the first thing that we need to do, if we're looking at what has Africa done right, maybe we need to research, because some of our stories are not told. I saw a clip yesterday somewhere online that was saying that, where are the stories of the Black people? It was an American thing. Someone was saying they were here in this and this and this points of history, but we don't see them in that history. So where are these stories? And maybe we need to research about those stories that have not been told yet. The stories of what we have done right, the stories of what the local heroes in their different spaces are actually doing. So after researching, we then need to think about our cast. The cast will then depend on what structure we want to have it. If it's a reality TV show, then we can look for actors who can fit that particular cast. And if it's going to be comedy, we might need comedians. So people tell the story, but the camera captures it. So which is where the cinematography now comes in. And regardless of what kind of camera you have, you can always tell a story. But in always telling a story with whatever camera you have to have proper lighting and proper sound. So in the lighting aspect, we have natural light that has been given to us. So it's always easier to tell your story outdoors if you want to tell your story outdoors. And it's also important when we're looking at the cast to also get a proper voiceover artist if we are going to need someone who's going to be narrating what Africa has done right. But the most important part of it all is actually researching and getting our things right. If we get our facts right, it's easier for us to find out what else can then fit into the story that we want to capture. So, and maybe also in what Africa has done right, we might also want to include issues of inclusion, making sure that every other region of Africa is represented, and making sure that we actually try to work together to bring out the best that we want to bring out. So this is what we have been doing as Youth for Innovation Trust. We have been working with young people, trying to tell young people stories. And in trying to tell young people stories, we've actually been capturing it on camera. So Sam is actually telling me that I'm a bit out of time. So I'm just going to show you some of the work that we've been doing, but most of the work that we have can actually be found on our YouTube channel. So I'm just going to share a video. This is a music video. This is something that we've been doing to try and tell the African story through camera. And this is Bulawayo. I'll just play maybe 1 minute of it, then we can move on to the next presentation. Okay. So that was the YouTube channel that you can check out. It's Youth for Innovation Trust. So just a few seconds of this. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this short clip of the video. So I think I'm going to end here for now. Thank you, Sam. Back to you.
Thank you, Tando. It's been really great just learning from the work that Youth Innovation Trust has been doing. I would like to just take this moment to find out whether Bethlehem, you've managed to connect. Bethlehem was our moderator for this session, but unfortunately we've been having technical glitches. So Bethlehem, are you here?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Finally. So sorry, guys. Great. So I think now we just finished the presentation from Charmaine or
Tando.
Tando finished?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. So then that would mean that we only have around 20 minutes. So we try and catch up with the time that we have left. And I would really appreciate it if everybody considers the time that we have left and try and push as fast as possible. So yeah, can we continue with Charmaine?
With Faisal?
Sorry, Faisal.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. At the same time, I'm going to make sure I'm making sense. Let's start with the start slide. Okay. No. Right. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how to organize your work for better results in terms of wildlife filmmaking and photography. Just a quick one about myself. I'm a wildlife photographer and filmmaker, and I run a production house here in Nairobi, Kenya, Visual Africa Films. I started wildlife photography pretty early, actually, as a teenager, as a hobby, and I think I'm fortunate enough to have developed it into a career. Then I went on to start even wildlife filmmaking, which complemented it very well. So at least I'm fortunate enough to have turned a passion into a career and earn money out of it. We've now started even publishing books with augmented reality, which I think I talked about way back in August. So I'm not going to go into that in detail and wildlife photography, but basically more the back end of production when it comes to wildlife photography and filmmaking. It's not like filming or photographing people. You really can't tell an animal to step out of the shade. You can't tell a lion, please sit up a bit straight. You can't light up a lion or an elephant. You're mostly going with the natural light, of course, unless you're doing night filming, but even that is very limited. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to develop your idea and organize yourself and develop your concept. Because shooting, what I call shooting in the dark, when you just go out there and say, okay, I'm just going to take photographs and film whatever I have. Yes, you'll get your good shots because Africa is beautiful, but you won't get your story. You'll just have a lot of excellent shots, but nothing to tell. So what we like to go with is what we call a treatment. It's very important to have a treatment going. So this is a document that basically it's your Bible, it's your Quran. It's what tells you what's the do's and don'ts, what you need to get, how you need to go about it. So I'll just run through everything and maybe just to make it sound to make more sense, I'll just come up with a title and stuff, and just as we go, we'll develop it. So it's important, of course, to have a working title. That's the beginning. Why I like to call it a working title is because in most cases, or in some cases, what may happen is at the end, once you're done with post-production, you might have found a better title to work with. So it's always good to have a working title. Again, that makes sense and that should be as simple as possible. Let's take, for instance, rhinos. We want to do a story. We want to photograph and film rhinos. So we'd say we'd go with a title, a case for rhino horns, basically. Okay, we're going to talk about rhino poaching and conservation. So that's a perfect title you need to work with. You don't want a title that's misleading. Remember, again, if it's going to a broadcaster, you need a title whereby when the viewer is scrolling through, he can see, all right, a case for rhino horns. It's pretty straightforward what we're looking for. I mean, you don't want something as a horny affair. It might just start giving some very misleading judgments about what you're filming. So let's go with something simple and straightforward. Then you have what you call the tagline. This is just a simple sentence that would talk about your project, what it's about, sum it up in a sentence. So let's say we were going ahead with, like we said, a case for rhino horns. So we'd say, let's go tagline, the importance of conservation and protection of rhinos in Africa. Simple. Then you have the log line. Log line would be, of course, a few more sentences about what the project is all about. So we can say that, all right, people have this misconception that rhinos give you these superpowers and make you extra strong sexually, and we want to debunk this myth. So that would be a log line, a few sentences that just talk about your project. Then you go, of course, to background, and this is really important. A lot of people mix up background with synopsis. Background, you want to research your subject. What is it about? This way you bring out your statistics. How many rhinos are left in Africa? How many were poached? How many are being conserved? What's their age span? Where do you find them? In which habitats? Then we'd go to synopsis. Synopsis would be now basically what will you see? A lot of people mix up synopsis and background, and they tend to want to mix everything, start talking statistics here. The potential buyer or commissioning editor will not really want to know statistics. They want to know, what are we going to see out there? We're going to go out in the Masai Mara. We're going to film rhinos in Nairobi National Park. You talk a little bit about the environment. So that's, we're going to see rhinos mating. We're going to see rhinos fighting. So that's what it is. directorial vision. As a director, what is the message you want to get across? What kind of shots are you going to go for? Are you going to go for time lapses? Are you going to give importance to sound? A lot of people tend to shoot documentaries or film, especially wildlife, and they don't pay attention to sound. They think, oh, we've got a good picture, and wow, that's good enough. But guess what? You can get away with bad picture, but you can't get away with bad sound. You know, it's very easy as a bad picture. I can just make it more grainy, make it more artistic, and say this is black and white. This is my representation of it. But if your sound is bad, it's horrible, then that's it. There's nothing much you can do. So of course you have your directorial vision. You need to put that down, what you want to get across. Your statement of intent. Again, this is very different from directorial vision. What is it that you want to get across? Who are you targeting? The youth, schoolgoers, elders? Are you targeting? Is this for entertainment sake? Just it's not factual. You just want people to enjoy beautiful scenery. So that is really important. You need to think that through. Your statement of intent, that by the end of the 57 minutes, before the credits start rolling in, what message have you got across? That's really important prior to going in. Then, of course, a shooting schedule, how you want to shoot. Now, there's a difference again, shooting schedule and production schedule. You're looking shooting schedule is, okay, we're going to shoot 1 week in Nakuru National Park. How are we going to do it? Yes, we want the morning shots, we want the afternoon shots, evening shots. So that is now your shooting schedule. That this is what we need to get. Your production schedule, again, I'm not going to go into detail of this because of time. And I personally believe that this is something you need a special presentation on altogether. Your production schedule now talks about everything, your pre-production, production, and your post-production. How you're going to do it, how many days you need in pre, how many days you need in production, how many days you need in post. Then technically your treatment actually ends there, but I thought I wanted to add the script outline and the wish list. That's really important. That actually goes into pre-production, but I thought to bring this forward just for discussion's sake today. Script outline is basically, of course, not a written script. It's not a good idea to pre-write your script because you never know, you might get some really nice stuff out there and then you'll be like, oh, but it's not in the script. It's just basically an outline of what you need to get, what you need shots of a ranger watching over rhinos, you need the shots of rhinos in the plains, things like that. So that would be a script outline. What you want to interview a ranger, you want to interview a poacher now who's, you know, turned around and become a good guy and he's no longer poaching, he's a conservationist, things like that. So that's what your script outline brings. Then you have the wish list. Now the wish list is basically what it is, a wish list. What would you like to see? And you don't hold back, you know. You want to see rhinos fighting, you want to see a rhino giving birth, you want to see a rhino calf with the mother, you want to see a male, female, and baby together. You want to see rhinos drinking water, fighting. So you need to have that so that at least when you're out there, you know what you want to look out for. And you just start ticking off that, all right, down that, down that, down that. Of course, if you go with a really overexcited wish list, you might not get some of the shots, but well and good. So at least you're trained, you know what you want to get. So that would be your treatment. So once you have your treatment ready, then you know you're ready to shoot, you're ready to go into now the stages of production. Of course, that would be pre-production, production, post-production, and marketing. Just to touch quickly on them, pre-production, you're looking at things like licensing, putting together your crew, your locations, firming them up, your accommodation, your transport, logistics, and things like that. Contracts. Production, of course, is now when you're out there shooting. You're going, and not just filming. Maybe you want to even do a voiceover narration at the end. So that again falls under production. Then we go into post-production, which would be, of course, editing the pictures, editing the videos, making sure that the colors are right. You're going with the theme that you had decided as a directorial vision. Do you want warm colors? Do you want something cold? Are you just going black and white? Are you going sepia? And of course, then from there, you now start working on your augmented reality, because that's where your trigger points come in, your images that you're using as trigger points for overlays. Those are the videos that get triggered off by the images. And of course, quality matters, your print matters, where you're printing it. If you're doing your book, this is again where your book design comes in, your writing, and putting everything together. Then of course there's marketing. A lot of people don't think about this. They think that's it, we've just got it, we've put together something and we're done. But guess what? How are you going to go out there and sell it and make some money and earn a living? So it's always important to, when drawing up the budget, what I like to call vitamin M, consider that as well. So you know that once the product is ready, how you can go out and expose it and try and get buyers for it, or try and see how you can sell it. Then finally, we'll talk about funding the project. You've got different options. Of course, you've got commissioning, but of course, once the commissioners come in, they play then, because it's their money. They'll play a big role in maybe I shouldn't say manipulating, but wanting the story to fit their fit, or their channel, or what their theme they want to go with. So you need to have that flexibility. So you can't say that, no, this is how I want to go with it. They're giving you vitamin M. You might have to be a bit more flexible about it. Of course, then you have grants, where you manage to get grants out. Then you can find quite a few of them online, where you're given the money and to develop the project. Then there's a self-funding. We did this for one of our documentaries way back in 2014. We self-funded it, and we did something on elephant poaching. And it is, you need the discipline and you need to be careful. You need to think it through. It's a tough one. Although I do encourage people to try and go for it, because it's good for you to think of film as well, and production as a business, and how you can get return on your investment in it. Then of course you have co-productions. That would be co-productions with fellow filmmakers, corporates. For our book Elephants Wear Ivory, we did, it was a co-production with another company that does photography. That worked very well. We're in the process of working on another co-production deal with a company in the tourism industry. So you see, that works well for them as well. And we're in filming. So there's different options in co-productions and how you can make it work. But of course, you need to lay things out very clearly, because sometimes, usually one feels is being shortchanged or the other is being overworked. So you need to make things very clear. Even if it's your best friend you're doing a co-production with, get into a written agreement, so that when things start heading south, you know it's everything's on paper. You need to be professional about it. So yeah, I guess that's where I'll end in the interest of time, and hope I made sense. And yeah, thanks for this opportunity, everyone. Over to you.
So thank you so much. I mean, funding has been also one of the things that a creative, whether the take or not, has been, it's been either a struggle or a really good push that allows creatives to, do a lot of these self-incentivized projects. So a lot of you have touched up on this. So the last two presenters are Seth. I think you are representing Saname. So could we please go with you? So with one update though, before that happens, we're going for 10 minutes more on the timeline here so that we can accommodate, but then that would be it. So let's go for 5 minutes each with Walid and Seth. So thank you, Seth, the floor is yours.
And sorry, Betham, just to step in, I also think we can do 10 extra minutes. So if they can both just do 10 minutes and stay well within that time, that would be great.
Great. If we can do that, that'd be awesome as well. All right, Seth.
Okay, hello everyone. I will share my screen. Also, I will talk about Plus, which is a social network that we developed at WayLab. And the idea behind the development of Plus is that the social networks that we use today are developed by tech giants who control all the data of the users who use the platforms. So we wanted to put in place a network that will allow Africans to really have a product that takes into consideration the needs of the people. But it's also a cultural social network. People have the ability to showcase their events, their places in many areas like technology or food or even lifestyle. And this is a place to showcase all those events and places. More importantly, it is designed to put forward people in various African cities. Right now, we have some figures identified in Togo, Ghana, Congo, Senegal, and Benin. And more and more people will join later. So in order to do this, we had to do some curation and find the early figures that would be on the application. And it started in Lomé, but like I just said, we extended to Abidjan and Accra, Cotonou as well. And there are right now many people who are part of the network. And the idea is that if anyone is willing to join, anybody can go and sign in and join the list of the figures that are on the platform. And anyone can join. It is free to join, and you can show your events or places. So the curation was made for about a year to find the people who will be put forward in the application. So the idea is that we have also some virtual expositions. It's not only a social network for people to communicate, but people can also use it to attend some virtual shows or exposition. Like, for example, the expo in Lomé that is happening right now. We also have in Accra the event of Pierre Christophe Sankara, the upright man. So these are some examples of exposition that we currently have on the platform. We also have some details about the story of cities. So, for example, if you go to a city like Lomé, you will have a history of what happened in the city, and you can get to know more about the town. And this is a way for you to discover also the African cities. And finally, since we are short in time, I will talk about also Mr. Sename, who is also a member of the team. And we really want the African network, African Crossroad Network, to be part of the initiative. Because right now the project is self-funded. So we believe that this network can help propel the project and put it in more hands. So if anyone in the community has the ability to help us either financially or in any kind of way, it will be welcome. So basically, this is what I wanted to tell about Plus. I hope you understood the purpose of Plus. You can also download it online. The name of the application is Plus, just like this. And you can log in and start using it right away.
Thank you so much, Seth, for that. I mean, I looked at Plus and it was also a great way to find access to a lot of things that were hidden in a lot of different places. And I hope this platform only grows so much bigger as technology allows it, which is our topic today. With platforms, continuing will be a game that we have from Marshmallows. So Walid will take us through that also, and then we can briefly talk about the rest. So Walid, the floor is yours.
Hi. Thank you all for your time. It's quite a nice workshop that we have here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the story of the Marshmallows and yeah, sharing what happened to us. We've been working on this game for the last 2 years. And yeah, so what you see actually on the screen is that it's a Maltese video game studio, but the studio is based in Tunisia, but we are publishing the game through Malta. And this is also one of the solutions that we found for a problem that we have because we are based in Tunisia. The marketing and the financial aspect of this type of industry is quite difficult, making it from where we are. So we decided to expand and to go to Europe to find solutions. So first of all, every time when we talk about video games, we have quite an issue explaining why we are doing this, because definitely when you pitch a program or a startup or whatever it is, there is also always this problem solution approach. But in our case, actually, entertaining people, it's definitely not solving major problem. Let's call it like that. But we found one, actually. And the problem that we found is that in today's video games, even if you go Google and you do video game champion, you will all the time find the same, let's call it persona. People from 16 to 20-year-old, mainly men's, and this type of setup. But this is a problem for us because we deeply believe that video games are not only here for an elite, and we don't want to consider the video games as an elite game, but we wanted to see it on a broader audience. So why not seeing tomorrow a woman, 45 years old, winning a major a video game championship, or they can be a duo, they being couple, they can be women and kids playing together. It can be a little girl, 7-year-old, winning a major video game championship. And the problem is actually coming from the games themselves. They are quite hardcore. So we decided to make Marshmallows. So the Marshmallows is a game that is competitive, but at the same time, super accessible and casual. So meaning a game that you can play with your friends and family at home, but at the same time, if you want to invest your time in it, you even can go pro. So with a lot of ease to use, so very quick learning curve, but at the same time, what we call the easy to play and hard to master, but not that hard. We already organized tournaments where we got this teenager. She was, I think, 12-year-old. She came and she just beat everybody in less than 30 minutes, even the developers who've been playing the game for a very long time. So that's actually the vision and where we want to go. And to do that, we decided to make a game that is, first of all, 2D, to avoid all the problems due to dealing with 3D camera, etc. The second thing, it's a shooter. Gaming, it's about shooting and trying to kill each other, even if Marshmallows is violence-free, and I will show you that a little bit later. And yeah, and we want it to be cross-platform, so people can play on desktop, on mobile phones, on consoles, etc. So this is the game. This is the core mechanic of the game. So you aim and shoot, but a lot of games are doing that. So we decided to make it different. you have one feature to aim and shoot and to try to eliminate the others, but you have more than 10 features to help you escape the danger. So we came out with this automatic slow motion. So what you are seeing, it's not a video effect, it's actually scripted in the game. So as soon as you are in danger, you have slow motion happening, you can dash in the air, fly. Every marshmallow have its own superpower. So I can show you a little bit of gameplay here. I will just take away the music. Show you. Yeah. Perhaps it's a little bit lagging through the stream, but yeah, so 2D characters shooting each other, but you can see that eliminating other players is quite difficult. And why I'm saying eliminating, because nobody dies in Marshmallows. Even if you got hit by a jelly shot, you are actually trapped in this kind of bubbles, and you will be still able to move freely around the levels to go annoy the survivors. So there is no death, the word killing, death, etc. All this is completely forbidden in our world. You just got trapped and then you come back to play again. Every marshmallow have its own superpower, and all the superpowers are also not made for attack, but they are made for protection and escape. And of course, you wanted to make it quite spectacular with a lot of moments happening. Like here you have Elephant Rush, you have many things happening into the game. I'm not going to spoil you everything. But to summarize, so yeah, no violence, no obvious violence. So death, killing, etc. that doesn't exist. But of course, we want it to be fun. So you can slap each other, throw each other in the water, and a lot of fun happening here. All this made around a competitive game. Yes, and a whole universe, etc. Yeah, about the universe, we also wanted to bring actually a type of content that people are not usually exposed to, like for example cities from Tunisia. So we are working on a new level from an African city. We are working on small countries like Malta, like Egypt. I mean, when I say small, it's because they are not exposed. We are not used to see this type of universes in major titles or mass market titles. And this is also part of the culturalization of the game that we want to put in, but without also being like in a cliche of a type of exposing the content. So all this is actually and this is actually creating the Marshmallows and the whole brand. And this is today our ambition, let's call it like that. The game is not already out, but all this started from here. So this is the Marshmallows now, but when it started being like that. And this is perhaps the most interesting part of my presentation here, is that when we started the game, we went through a very quick process of iteration and development with the team. The first version of Marshmallows was made in 2 weeks. Now we've been spending 2.5 years already developing it. So the first 2 weeks, we took the game, we went to a major event in Tunisia. We exposed it to 5,000 people that came to play. It was a Comic-Con in Tunisia. And we figured out that people really liked the game. What is really cool about game development and perhaps even app development, the core functionality or the core gameplay that you have is really nice, even if the wrapping is not that good, people will like it because there is a real interest in the core gameplay. So it was supposed to be like that. So those was the first graphics. Then we've seen a lot of interest from people. So we said, okay, let's enhance it a little bit. And we went through 2 more weeks of development. We were supposed to release the game in less than a month. And then we did that. We showed to people, they played it, and they really liked it. But at the same time, we felt that we have more potential than that, thanks to the core gameplay. So I said, okay, let's enhance it more, graphically speaking, but also with functionalities. But here I'm only talking about the graphic aspect. So we went from that little square to more, let's say, sophisticated and more cartoony characters. And then say, okay, let's think 180 degrees. And we started doing this type of art since the day this guy came. So it was a complete luck. So it's a super artist who is today our art director who's working with us, Miguel. We found him on Facebook and in an art challenge, and it was obvious for us that this is going to be the art direction that Marshmallows needs to take. And so we went from that little squares fighting each other to those characters with a lot of appeal, animations coming, and the full story actually today happening around the Marshmallows. All this is only possible and was happening thanks to the community, thanks to the people that we were exposing the game to. And we tested, and we really went out from our comfort zone. In the beginning, we really wanted to make a game that is accessible for the 25 plus. We found out that kids like the game, of course, because of the graphics, but also parents. So we somehow validated some assumptions that we've been making about the attractiveness of the game. And so live events, but also we very quickly exposed the game to the internet. So we shared the game with, we put the game on Steam, which is the biggest distribution platform for desktop games. We did a Discord channel, which is actually today open, and we have open, clear, and honest feedbacks coming on the Discord channel that is helping us improve the game. So the idea of making people not die and staying and knowing the other place came from the community, actually. Well, it didn't came from our creative team. And many other ideas. Well, also we have back office. So data is super important. So there is platforms like Game Analytics, PlayFab. All these platforms are really good to collect data and to understand. And if I have something, any kind of type of advice that I can say, tag everything that you have in your app or in your game, because sometimes one little button or any type of user experience can completely change from being a zero to being a hero in this type of industry. So yes, even the community, they asked for the Nintendo Switch. We were supposed to do it on the desktop, so again through Steam, and then go to mobile platform. They asked for the Switch so badly so that we even changed our production. And today they're also asking for the major consoles to be added. So we are, our plans are changing because and thanks to the feedbacks of the community. And that's why also we got this content. So I'm going to go really quick here, but inspirations about the word that is coming, that we wanted to really expose. This is cities that never really been in video games that we are putting here, and also about the characters themselves. So they involved, we have a lot of cool things that we would like to share, and it's important for us to show all this. So to do this, I'm not alone, of course. We are a team working together for a very long time, and this is super important for us because we have team in Tunisia, but also we have people in Malta, in France, in Ecuador, in Mexico, and in India. And very soon we have a super talented Senegalese girl who is going to join us to help us draw better characters and better environments. And this is actually the key for content like a video game. It's a talent-based industry, and without a good team we cannot do anything. And believe me, you will be surprised by how people can be engaged in such a project by lowering their fares and prices if they believe in the mission that you're sharing with them. We are self-funded. We have some business angels, but who went so deep with us that we consider them as part of the team. So this is why we said self-funded. Normally a game like this will take between 1.5 to 2 million euro to do. Today we are less than 300,000 euro to make this game happen on the production side. But also what we also say to everyone, please, we know that a lot of people go deep with their product, but they forget how to market, how to think about the sales of the product. Without money, there is nothing. So you need to come with good ideas. In our case, actually, we are planning a lot of content, videos, memes, even dances and challenge dances on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook gaming, etc., etc. And this is very important to get people engaged. The main idea behind all this is to make a genuine viral story that people will be sharing automatically, as we don't have a consequent marketing budget for this. Also, a number very important to understand. Per day, there is an average of 1,000 new games that comes out. 1,000 new games on every platform, mobile, desktop, etc., etc. So you are in competition with all these guys every day, and the day that you lose to publish the game, you have more competition coming in. So timing is also very important. So here I have some useful links, and perhaps I can share them a little bit later. But about the technology, we used Unity, and I think a lot of you are familiar with it. We're using Photon Quantum for the networking aspect because the game can be played online. And for dealing with the music, we have F mode. But also about the tools that you are using, I prepared actually some here. What do I have here? Yeah, for example, Hack and Plan is really awesome to manage. I can share this, no problem. To manage your project, to see the tasks, the team, what is happening on that. So this is very important. And of course, Discord and Slack are super useful. Tools to communicate with the team and with your community. So I really went very fast on this. Please don't hesitate to contact me or to call me or just join warshmallows.com. You have all the links. You can play the game now, and it can be super interesting to have your feedbacks. Perhaps you can influence what is happening in it, or perhaps the next level can be your city if you want really to get involved with us. And yes, join us on Discord and on Steam, and we'll be very happy with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Walid. I also am from the gaming industry myself, as a lot of you would know. So I do completely understand the challenges and also the opportunities and everything that comes with building a game on a low budget where the team is actually self-invested into it also. So that's a great thing that brings people together as well. But looking at it from industries that I'm not within, so for the audience also, it's very interesting to see how much the technology and the platforms that we're using differently have almost a lot of common things. And the one epic thing that I saw was that a lot of these platforms actually are built to allow people to engage in them and a different kind of people. So it's very inclusive, and that's one of the huge potentials. And I'll just try to summarize before doing an end conclusion with Sam, would be to map out this opportunities and the common things in the ground, but then also to see maybe to leave it as an open-ended question for the audience of what limitations these technological platforms bring us for the creatives. So besides being very inclusive, like me learning about filming documentation, or an audience who's not related, who's not in the industry of virtual reality, seeing how that is made just creates that incentive where we can become one in a way, and that's the power of technology. And the second thing that I really realized is that these platforms, different technological elements, are actually the safest space to make mistakes and learn. Whereas instead of the hierarchy of formats and theory-based learnings, of course, if we don't have the time pressure, that is, are the best way to learn because it gives feedback to us from people that matter in the industry in a way, people who use it. And the third and the last one is because it's the industry community that is being activated using this different digital platforms. And it's the feedback that makes us and the job that we do within it, the epicness that it is and the best products that it is to be. And so this creation of this community that we wouldn't have been able to do it in an analog platform, these technologies are enhancing and allowing that. And I'm ever grateful for that, as much as I think a lot of you are. And the challenges would be also because inclusivity is an opportunity, but then what would be for a lot of African countries who are not accessing a lot of megabytes, for example, to play games or to see the VR platform. So we're just, probably that's a time thing that answers it, but that's also a huge question that always comes back to mind. But this has been a great session for as far as I've been part of it. So thank you for all of that, everybody who participated into making this a reality. So thank you from my side. And Sam, Nekesa, if you guys have a closing, then I would welcome you to the floor.
Thank you so much, Bethlehem. I think it's really been a very insightful workshop indeed. And just to encourage everyone, we have some of the most cutting edge people here working on different elements and technology, as you've just witnessed. So feel free to reach out to them or to reach out to me so that I can connect you to them. And definitely, there's more to learn. We really tried to summarize this workshop on the work that they've been doing, but we can really venture more into this technological elements, game making, application building, augmented reality, virtual reality, filming, storytelling, documentation. It's really broad. So thanks to everyone who's been here. I'd like just to hand over this time to Adrian, who is like our technical lead, for last words as we close this session.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, this has been really amazing. I've really so inspired and amazed by everyone's experiences on here. Some people's I was familiar with, such as Faisal, but I've really been looking forward, for example, Walid, to hearing about the game and really your journey. So thank you. As you see, I've been wearing these AR filters. So if you want to be a part of this as well, download the Snap Camera app onto your desktop or laptop. I'm sitting in all the rooms at the same time, kind of in the background, but please feel free to get in touch if you have any questions. I'm a designer. I run Nairobi Design Week, and really just enjoying getting to know everyone's stories. So thank you.
Thank you, Adrian, and thank you, everyone. I think now we can all fall back into the main room forum. I'm not sure if anyone has difficulties accessing the link. Otherwise, I see Nekesa has already shared it in chat. So let's meet in the main room. Thank you all. It's been really great.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, again. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session on online events, do's and don'ts. Afef and Saif, are we good to go?
Yes.
Yes, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Good, over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Afef, and I am the program manager of the Tunisian Center for Social Entrepreneurship. And my colleague Saif, we work on a new project with that it was the baby from African Crossroad last year. So please, Saif, introduce yourself until I share my screen. Hello.
Hello, Afef.
Yes, Saif, do you want to say something about you? So until I
Yeah,
share
of
my
course.
screen.
Hello everyone. Hope you are doing well. So my name is Saif Delalij and I'm from Morocco, and I am the co-founder of Zilij Invent, which is a Moroccan startup that works on recycling plastics and all the recycling part, and yeah, this is it. And we work together with the TCC in Tunisia on Umoja. So and today we'll show you some results and also some do's and don'ts for you if you want to organize or if you want to launch your own project. So yeah.
Yeah, I hope that everyone can see my screen. I try to just do it full screen. So do you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So again, hello. So I would like to tell you before how the idea about Umoja comes. So Umoja is a project that we did TCAC and Zilij Invent. And it was, as I said, like a fruit from the African Crossroad last year. So last year we've met with Saif. We didn't know each other. We didn't know what our organizations do. So we exchanged about why not we can do something. When we did like the networking, we've met and we talked about why not we can do something together in the future. Then we had this call for application from African Crossroad to apply for a project. So we discussed with Saif about the idea of creating a new project together that we called it Umoja. And Umoja is a word, it's a Swahili word, which means united. So, and the word came just because we were thinking about what is united in Swahili, because the last year we were in Mombasa, and we came up that, yeah, it's Umoja. So the word and the project came thanks to the African Crossroads 2019. So, welcome again, Saif. Yeah, Saif. So Umoja Heroes. Here we have, of course, our team from TCAC and our team from Zilij Invent, who also helped and worked on Umoja. Jed, Nadif, and Huda and Mouneh from Tunisia. Jed and Huda are from Morocco with the Invent, and Mouneh with TCAC. So, okay, so we will talk about the Umoja presentation, e-experience, and key takeaways.
Yes, Safaf, if you can go back to Menti.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to
please.
engage, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead, Saif.
Yeah, perfect. So here we are. So please just grab your phone and go to menti.com, okay, and just tap the code 2250 787. So go to menti.com and use the code 2250787.
I will do the same, Saif.
Great. Perfect. And where the idea is just for you to just explain more what's your goal for today's workshop. So in order to be more interactive and to know you more.
And you will see the results, Saif, right?
Yeah, I will share the screen.
Okay, you share with us the result.
Yeah, okay.
So we give 2 minutes?
Yes, okay.
1 minute. Please, for those who will submit the answer, say in the chat box, done, so we can know.
Yeah. Afaf, can you please let me share the screen?
Yep, of course.
Thank you.
You can share directly, I guess.
No, actually.
I need to stop?
Yeah.
How to do? I am like an old woman. Stop sharing. Okay. Stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we have 6 participants. Great. Okay, let's see. Okay, improve online workshops that I organize. Okay, gain some experience in event organization. Great, to learn something new, totally. To be wowed, yeah. Learn new technologies to host inclusive and innovative online events. To learn how to manage my events better. Okay, to know more about this workshop, learn more and go share with my community back home. Yeah, learn how to do an online event to get new skills and build network worldwide. Thank you. Welcome. To learn something new, having unity among us, among ourselves and the whole world. Yeah. Well, that's great. We have new you go. So know more about these workshops, learn a new power mover. Okay. Reach out and learn about art and international level. Okay, great. So actually, I think we have so many countries here. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we'll get back to Afaf, and of course we will try to achieve all those goals by today's workshop. So yeah, I will let you with the Afaf. Afaf,
yes.
The mic is yours.
Yeah. So here I will start to present a little bit some achievement of Umoja and what we did, what we didn't do. And after I will leave the floor to Saif to start the workshop session. You cannot, okay. I cannot share the screen, Saif. You cannot start.
Okay, can you see it now?
You have to stop sharing your screen. Or I can use yours, it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Go ahead, yeah. Next slide. Okay, cool. So Umoja is a project that supports the African youth journey through an online series of webinar training and video entrepreneurship oriented and created by 2 organizations, as we said, in Tunisia, TCAC, and in Morocco, Zadig Invent, of course, supported by HIVOS and African Crossroad. So here the idea when we met in Mombasa, and also after meeting in Mombasa, the idea was we wanted something very soft to the young people and curious people about green innovation and about social entrepreneurship, because it's our main sectors, TCAC and Zadig Invent. We want to introduce to them what is the green entrepreneurship, what is social entrepreneurship, and how to get access to African countries if they want to develop their projects there, or they want to move to the African market. And also we wanted to introduce to young people how to maintain, how to do sustainable jobs if you will create an enterprise. So here it was really introduction to all these topics, and we wanted to sensibilize young people in African continent. So what we do here, we did all the project was online. We did 4 training sessions, and we had trainers from Tunisia and from Morocco. We are producing 2 videos. It is 2 learning videos. The 2 learning videos, one, it's about green entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. And the second one is how to access to the African market. And we are creating 4 best practices articles for those, because our training sessions and the video are most in French and Arabic. So we wanted to touch really most of the African countries. So this best practices article will be in French, in English, and in Arabic. Next. Yeah, no, before, it's okay. Okay, so our training session was first one, we talked about innovation goes green in Africa. Next slide, Saif. Next slide. Okay, and here our speaker was Mrs. Sophia. She was CEO of NoBox Lab, creative and production, and director of Tafannun. So we've made a really great session with her. After we will tell you some results. Next. The second one, we talked about new area of social entrepreneurship, and it was really an amazing session with Mr. Mohamed Ghashem from Tunis. Next. We had Mr. Adnan Adiwi, one of the Ashoka Fellows and Moroccan president of MSIS Morocco, and we talked about promoting sustainable employment in Africa. And the last session was about opportunities to sell your product on the African market, and was with Saber Belaraj, like an expert, a Tunisian expert. So thank you to our trainers. Next. Here are the results. So we succeeded through Umoja, and of course, thanks to the support of African Crossroad, and of course the HIVOS, and thanks to the Legion Van TCAC, we succeeded to have 19 nationalities in the African continent. We had a total of 810 total participants, and we've had 1,582 total applicants. 68% women and 32% men. So we did a big noise with the Umoja project. Next. Next slide. Yeah. So here are also our results online. We had plus 1,020 community members. So after Saif, he will do the workshop. And me, I will send you guys the link of our group Umoja, Facebook group Umoja, and our Facebook page Umoja. So please don't hesitate to join. And we had plus 14K post engagement and plus 75 social media posts on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Here are some pictures. Next. And the videos. One of the videos we already done with the first video about green and social entrepreneurship. Now it's only in Arabic, but we are doing the translation in English, the subtitle in English, so everyone can access to this video. Saif, if you can just show us 10 seconds from the video, and the second video is in progress. And then I will leave the floor to you, Saif. Just 10 seconds of the video, and you can start the workshop. Thank you. Saif, there is no voice.
Well, no voice?
Yeah, there is no voice, but it's okay. We can share with all of you guys next time the video. So Saif, if you start the session, and me, I will share the social media of Umoja. Please join.
Okay, great. Okay, so now let's move to the workshop part. So yeah. So and also we'll launch very soon the videos in French, Arabic, and English. So just go to the Facebook page, LinkedIn, YouTube, and just follow and share the videos. Okay, great. So let's move to the do's and don'ts of today's meeting, or today's workshop. So first thing first. So when we're talking about a e-learning project or e-events, so it's virtual, it's online, but it's not all about sharing a form and waiting for engagement, waiting for participants. It's not about just sharing a form and sharing posts on Facebook. No, actually, first thing you have to do is to have detailed planning. Yeah, like just every every program, you need to have, of course, a detailed planning with all things to and think to all unplanned events that can delay the tasks. For example, the legal part, the money transfer part, number of participants. You have to think to all events that can delay the tasks of your planning, of course. And also to think to daily check meetings. It's so important to have these daily check meetings, not only to have fun, of course, but also to adapt your plan to the individual events, to unplanned events, and also to motivate your team. Well, I think Afaf and I and Jed and all the Umoja heroes had a daily check meet to see how we are progressing in numbers, in number of participants, in post engagement, and everything regarding Umoja. So it's so important to have a daily check meetings. And also, just to get back to numbers, when Afaf said that we had 810 participants and more than 1,700 participants are applicants, it was just in 1 week. So yes, this is what this is why we are saying that Umoja is a successful event, and we had the power to gather more than 90 nationalities from Africa, and those tips help us do so. So you have to set daily check meetings, not only for e-learning or events, but also in real or physical events too. So the 3 points why we have to do this daily check meetings is for adaptation. If we have delays, if we have unplanned events, also for motivation, then the team need to be motivated to progress, and also to review all our tasks, to review our plans, to review our actions in order to deliver the program. Well, for me, it was one of the most important parts also, the need assessment. We have to organize a need assessment to understand our audience, to understand the participants, who are we targeting. So, and to do this need assessment, we have to understand or to answer those 4 questions, which is the who, the why, when, and where. And I remember Afaf and Jed and I having a call just to know who we will target. Entrepreneurs. Well, for us, our audience was entrepreneur, was early career students, and also workers. So we just thought about when they will, if we have to set an hour after work, or if we have to set a morning workshop. So it was the big question. So we really understood our audience in order to give them the most value and the more value. So, and to do so, you need to answer those 4 whys. Then we based all our communication, all our targeting on an emailing campaign, and I think thanks to Jed, we have a successful emailing campaign. And here I will show you how we did it, and what is the tips, what is the key elements to organize a successful emailing campaign. So first thing, it's plan your campaign. Yeah, as a project, as a program, you need to plan your campaign by setting when you will do the campaign, to whom, where, using what type of, which tool you will use for your campaign. So it's important to set all elements that will lead you to succeed your campaign. So, and this starts by planning your campaign, of course. Then you need to specify direct takeaways, which means that when typing your text for emailing, it's not about, hey, join us, or just sending the form. It's about saying what the participant will learn. For example, when typing your text or your email, you need, for example, to write in 1 hour, you will learn 2. For example, for the green innovation session, for example, we send an email, hey, dear entrepreneurs, I'm Safe from Umoja. So I'm inviting you to participate in the Green Innovation Workshop. And in 1 hour, you will learn to build your startup, to discover opportunities, funding opportunities for your startup. So you need to specify direct takeaways for the participant or for your audience. Then it needs to be a targeted content, which means that people are more likely to engage with people, not with robots or applications. So they need to feel the human behind the text, the human behind the email. So here, for example, you have to send greetings to say, for example, dear entrepreneurs or dear AFF. Okay, you have to specify names, and also names. For example, dear entrepreneurs, hi, I'm Safe from Umoja. Hi, I am Lena from Umoja. So you need to specify, you need to have a targeted content, and also to in order to engage, of course, the audience and to engage the participant. Then to put the call to actions, and it's one of the most important parts. So you want something from your audience. You don't want just to send an email, but you need actions to, for example, followers, for example, participants. So you have to put links. You have to ask for actions from your audience, from your participants. So here you have to, from 2 to 3, you don't have to exceed 3 call to actions in one email. Okay, and also don't forget to email your partners. It was I think a key point for us. It's just emailing all your partners, not only regarding Umoja, but really all your partners, in order to get more people, more participants, even more countries, and the more people interested on the project. So don't forget to email everyone. Okay, now we have those 5 key elements of the emailing campaign, which is the plan your campaign, direct takeaways, targeted content, call to action, and email your partners. And when speaking about the Canva or about the planning of your emailing campaign, you should think about how many emails you will send, and of course at what cadence. So for example, for us, we choose to send 4 emails per week. For example, we just when we launched the project, we started by the call to application email, then the final call, which is hey, you have till midnight to send your application to participate. The where you email your participant to just confirm their participation, and then you have this 24 hours or 1 hour reminder in order to say, hey, that you have something today, you have something coming today, so you have to participate in order, of course, to engage, and of course to remind them of the event. Okay, then the Facebook page and Facebook group. Well, for us, it was a smart move, creating a group when we gathered all the community, all the Umoja community and participants. So we started not only by creating a Facebook page, but also a group where we gathered all the participants, the Umoja participants, and also the mentors, and also some experienced people, in order to create this engagement, and also to create this connection. So people need, when organizing such a virtual event, they need this connection, this human connection. So we try to do so by Facebook group, which is totally free and which is totally helpful for any virtual program. So, and of course, as we have 4 thematics or 4 workshops in different subjects, so we tried to have an editorial marketing slant that is targeted for each workshop. So we choose 4 different colors, for example, but the editorial market slant was the same. We published, for example, the form, we published the date, we published the quote from the mentor or who will be the mentor. So here you are not only posting the form, but also posting in engaging posts, also numbers. So people need to have posts so that they can respond, so that they can follow the progress of the program. And also one of the main points that we work on is the certification. So you know that people today are always searching for this certification, and it was one of the key message of all our marketing strategy. So to say, hey, you will not only learn but also get certified at the end of the workshop, and it was one of the key success elements of the project. Well, also don't forget the engagement tools such as Menti, such as Miro.com, such as Padlet. This allow your participant to engage, to have more funny workshop, and also to have a word to say. And also, of course, one of the don't for us, I think FF and all the team, is to, yes, use freemium pack of the Zoom, the Meet, the GoToMeeting or Google Meet, but not if you have a big number of participants or huge number of participants. Well, I will not advise to use freemium pack. So if you have big numbers or you have a big number of participants, just go to invest in the other packs from Zoom, from Google Meet, because it's not so helpful to have the freemium pack when you have a lot of participants. So, and I think we did like the most key element that help us succeed the Umoja project. So now I will just ask you to go back to menti.com, and we will just play and we'll see what's happening on Menti. Okay, I will share with you Menti. Please go to menti.com and use the code 2020 as before, like 22507877.
Guys, so something that I want just to add something. So the most important thing in online session, because it's not like presential session, it's not like online session. So the important thing in online is to have good speakers, is to have people who are very attractive, because we know all of us now, we are working from the office or from our house. So we're not 100% focused now. So if I ask Grace, Iman, Layla, Saif, if you are focused, they will not be focused 100% as they are in presence. So this is for sure. So you need to have a speaker or a moderator who are very attractive, giving breaks, and really ask people to interact with you. It's very important until we pass through this COVID period and we can meet in person. Yeah.
Yes, totally agree, FF. So I would like to have any questions, if there's any questions regarding the project, regarding the session, before going to the Menti. Well, let's see.
Sorry, Saif, what did you say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have any questions, anything to add. Yeah. No.
Please don't hesitate to open your mic if you want even to share something. Maybe you did online event one day and you wanted to share a best practice. Please don't hesitate to ask question or to share best practice if you want.
Yeah, I have a question. What are your thoughts on timing? I've been to events that go 3 hours nonstop. I've been to some that have a break, and so people will go on a break and not come back. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so for people who doesn't show up, I can give my point of view and say if you have something to add, it's okay. For example, with Umoja, we did one session, we didn't do a break, for example, between sessions. So we did one session and we continued it. But personally, for example, I attend online sessions and it was, for example, maybe between the break, you can put music or something creative or a game or anything that can attract people's attention. So this is very important to do something creative, artistic, don't make silence, because silence will not motivate people to come back again. And also, again, if you have a boring session, nobody will come back. If you're having an interesting session and not boring session, everybody will be back. Also, as I said, music or anything that can bring people there. Maybe a game, as I said, like maybe you can put a game online and people can play between the sessions and then you come back. So thinking about creative things is very important to attract people. Like if you have any...
Yeah, of course. And I think also we choose to just limit the session on from 1 hour to 1 hour 30, because it's like the maximum of time that you can engage people with. And also we use so many engagement tools like Menti, like I said, so menti.com and the other tools that can engage. And also as Afaf said, so music, and also to attract people with the mentors and with the speakers you invite.
I want to add something because I think we don't have a lot of time. Provide content that people care about. If you will, for example, a session about social entrepreneurship and your target, they're not caring about social entrepreneurship, so nobody will show up, nobody will stay in your session. So provide a content and a session that really makes sense for your target group. So people, when they find their interest, they will stay and they will follow. So this is very important for online sessions.
Yes, perfect. So that was great. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the interaction. So now I will ask you to go to menti.com and use the code, and we will start a small quiz to end our session and to see who will win. They have a gift. True, Afaf. They will receive a gift. No?
We will think.
Okay.
Maybe when we will meet in person.
Okay, so let's start.
We don't have a lot of time, guys. 3 minutes, just 3 minutes. 2 minutes you play and 1 minute show results. Let's go.
Go to Menti.
Okay. Hurry up, we don't have time.
Yes. We have 6 people. 5, 6.
Where is me? Am I the koala? I love koala. I love
That's great.
koalas. My best animal ever. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. 10. Yeah. Okay.
Nekesa, how much time do we have?
We now have about 5 minutes left.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay, so let's start. I will put up music, so you will have some questions and a small quiz just to to see your takeaways. And yeah, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and I will put some music.
Okay.
Check me out now. Tony, yeah, walked out of Louis looking like a virgin discount. If it ain't 100, this the discount. 7 days a week, I smoke 6 ounces. If a chick with me, she like big house. If a chick with me, she like foreign car. If a chick with me, she like go yard. If a chick with me, she like protein. Make it to the rich niggas clothes off. Pull to the plane with my doors off.
Okay. Well, well, for the event planning, this should be detailed and precise, of course. Yeah, actually, you need to think to
It
all.
shows that people they don't.
Yeah, go Afif.
Sorry, it shows that people don't want long sessions.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the second question. Okay, donc. We should schedule daily check meet too. Okay, that was great. Yes, actually, we do need to have the daily check meeting to check tasks and planning, but not only. Also, we have to check for adaptation, for motivation, and also to review the planning. Okay, let's go.
Quick side. We still
Yes,
have
yes,
2
of
minutes.
course. Okay. Okay, we'll see the leaderboard at the end. Okay, third question. Okay, perfect. The 4 whys. Okay, waiting for the 4th question. Oh. An emailing campaign of 1 week should not exceed. Okay, 3, 4, yes, 4 emails, 4 mails. So for an emailing campaign of 1 week, that should not exceed 4 mails because you will be on the mass mailing or you will not be engaging people more if you send them 1 email per week per day. So it will be so much. So the ideal is 4 mails. Okay, perfect. So I think we have who is the winner, and the winner is okay. The winner is oh, Ida. Ida, you are the winner. So Afaf will send you the gift.
I will think about this for the next year. Hopefully,
yeah. Perfect.
Cool. We finished, Nikisa, and thank you all for. Do you have something else, Saif?
Okay. Well, it was just the final question. So Yumoja means what? Okay, in French? No, it's not in French. Okay, great. So actually, as Afif said, so Yumoja means unity, united in Swahili, not in Arabic. So, and this is it. Okay, great.
All right. Thank you so much, Afaf and Saif, for that very engaging session. You practiced what you preached and kept us engaged as you were teaching us that we should engage our audience. That was absolutely fantastic. It's now time for, oh, you're welcome. It's now time for us to go back to the main room. And I will share the link in the chat. There it is. So please join us there for the closing session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great closing session. Don't forget to join the party later on, and then come back tomorrow for more great content.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.